Hi, Curly. It's so nice to see you. We finally got a
Hello.
date to talk about all of the wonderful things that have been happening in your life.
Yes, yes. So nice to see you again, RV, and catch up.
So before we start, is it okay if I ask you to say something about yourself, Curly?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Kurly de Guzman. I am a career and leadership coach professionally. My dream is really to help more people thrive, find joy, and fulfillment in their workplaces and also in their lives. On a personal note, I am a wife, I'm a mom, I'm actually a homeschooling parent. That's an additional hat that I wear, and I'm a fur parent as well.
Great. Thank you for the introduction. Curly, I know that as a coach, you probably help a lot of people make something amazing out of their lives. Like you said, whether it's related to their career or maybe, in their personal life. And I heard through the grapevine that you yourself have experienced a major victory when it comes to your health.
Mhm.
Could you briefly share with us, what that wonderful news is?
Yeah, so last year, I think that was around August, I joined a program to help me with my health. Originally, I just wanted to lose weight, but I got so much more from that. So lost about, I forgot the exact number, but it was 30 plus pounds in that program, that 100-day program.
Is that something that you are at liberty to talk about? What kind of program it is and how it might have helped you?
Yeah, sure. So it's called the Kaizen 100-day program. I enrolled around August last year. Basically, you have to define what your goal is because some people, their goal is to bulk up and build muscle. I'm not there yet. So at that time, the goal that I set, well, even up to now, the goal that I set is to lose weight and to gain a little more muscle definition. So it's a 100-day program. There are lessons, there's a community that's part of it. We are given the guidance in terms of nutrition, workout, cardio exercises, and we also track it so that we have data to show us to show us our progress and to for us to make adjustments also along the way to reach our goals. So in a nutshell, that's what the program is all about. So we have our accountability group. So I forgot to mention we have that big community, but we also have our accountability group, and we have our coaches slash mentors, to support us if we have any questions, if we are struggling or along the way, or we need support with our fitness journey.
Is this the program that was designed by a Filipino athlete?
I'm not sure if he's an athlete, but I don't think he is.
Oh, okay, but he's
uh,
Filipino, right? I think.
yes, yes, he's Filipino, and the program is also intended for Filipinos. So that's what's good about it because one of its goals really is to transform, I think, 100,000 lives through the program because it doesn't just focus on fitness, but there's also a personal development aspect to it.
Wow, that is really laudable, like 100,000 lives. Personally, Curly, aside from the fact that you lost weight, like what other benefits did you notice after going through the program?
Well, one is, of course, when you lose weight, then you become more confident about yourself. That helped me in different ways, gaining more confidence. Of course, clothes fit better. You're able to do things that you never thought. I was able to do things that I never thought that I'd be able to do. I also feel stronger. Or I am stronger. I'm able to lift things that I'm not able to lift before. I have more energy basically. So if in the past I have a very sedentary lifestyle where it's because I work from home, so I just sit in front of the laptop all day and then at the end of the day I complain that I'm tired, I just need to rest and all that. But now I'm able to accomplish more. I'm able to work out 3 times a week. I also do my morning walks on my non-workout days, and yeah, just really having more energy. So it also made me more productive. And I guess in a way, I don't know if my husband will agree, but my son agrees that I just generally feel more pleasant. There's that lightness in me that I feel.
So what I'm hearing is that it goes way beyond, the physical benefits. Like I heard words like confidence, you sound more pleasant. And you mentioned, Curly, that there was a time when you had a sedentary lifestyle and you didn't have energy. And I'm wondering, what was the tipping point that led you to start this health and fitness journey to begin with?
Actually, I gave up on that goal already because every year I'd write that goal down that I want to lose weight, etc. But I don't really feel the urge to do it. So there were maybe like micro moments that led to it. Like, I'm feeling sluggish, or I don't want to look at my photos anymore. But it wasn't really, those micro moments weren't really strong enough to push me to do something. So there wasn't anything like deep, like tugging me to do it. So to be honest, when I signed up for the program, it was out of curiosity. I saw a friend of mine posting about it, and I said, okay, let's give it a try. And then I signed up out of curiosity. Who knows? I might lose weight. If I don't, then I'm the same. But it was during the program that I had that major push because for the longest time, I wasn't checking my weight. I didn't want to know. I mean, I knew I was overweight, obese even, but I didn't want to know the exact numbers. But part of the program to know our starting point, I had to weigh myself, and that's when I was really shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, I knew I was big, but I didn't know that I was this big. So that's when I told myself, I'm going to take this seriously because my health is at stake. My son is still young. There's still so much I want to do in my life. So I have to take care of myself.
So what I'm hearing, Curly, is a series of events that led to this, beginning with, just a general dissatisfaction, maybe with your health, and then curiosity, where you tried something,
Mm.
and then when you started, and I guess you started seeing the benefits as well, it really drove you to persist and finish the 100-day program. So is it over, Curly, like the 100 days?
Yes, the first 100 days is over. It ended around the end of November. After that, I was like on maintenance mode slash diet break, but I restarted another 100 days just a month ago. So I'm in another season of that 100 days.
Is it the same program or is this a different version for people who've done it before?
It's the same. And I know a lot of people would ask, like, why do you need to re-enroll if you already know what's going on in there, or you know the principles and all that? I thought the same also when I first joined, but now I found myself re-enrolling. And it's because of the community, it's because of the support. And I guess because at that time I had a different mindset, I had different goal. So I was in the lessons, for example, I was listening, I was paying attention to different things. But now there are other things that I want to pay attention to because I know that in this second round, what people are saying is that it's harder. So we shouldn't expect to lose as much as in the first season, but we'll see how things change, how to keep me on this, and also having that community, because if you're doing it by yourself, it's hard, right? I mean, you might have the motivation and the commitment and all that, but having people to talk to who are in the same journey, to share your frustrations or struggles with, it helps a lot.
We probably definitely know the value of eating well or eating healthy and the value of exercise. But for a lot of people, being part of a community is probably something new. I mean, some people have heard of an accountability partner. And there's a saying that we are the average of our five friends.
Mm.
Personally, from your experience, Curly, how has being part of that community helped you to persist in that 100-day journey?
So for this my small community, I have my small accountability group. We meet weekly and we process what the weekly lesson was. We talk about our wins, we talk about our challenges, and then we have the bigger community. So you can think like you have your own like forums where you could discuss, learn from other people. It makes you feel that you're not alone, that hey, it's normal. Like for example, there was a point in my last season where based on the numbers, I knew that I was already losing significant amount of weight, right? And I could see it in measurements and all that. But I felt bad because like when I meet other people, they don't notice anything, right? So it's kind of frustrating. Oh my gosh, why isn't anybody noticing that I already lost weight, that I look different, etc. So I felt bad about that, and that was a challenge for me. But what I did then was I spent more time in the community, like reading other people's posts, commenting, etc. So it made me feel like, hey, I'm not alone. There are other people going through this. There are other people who maybe experience the opposite of what I experienced. I experienced like nobody saying that, hey, you look great or you lost weight or whatnot. Others experienced naman people telling them like, hey, you're super thin, stop whatever you're doing, and those kinds of things. So it helps. It makes you feel that you're not alone in it, that you have support. There are other people going through the same. And it's generally very encouraging community.
Well, Curly, I'm thinking that since you're working from home, maybe that's because no, that's the reason why no one's noticing because you're at home. But that's a great point. As you were talking about that, it made me realize that in my own fitness journeys in the past, like I was looking for some form of feedback from other people to let me know that I was progressing. And if I wasn't getting that feedback, I agree with you. It could be disheartening. And you mentioned a while ago that you also had coaches and mentors. Now, as a coach yourself, I mean, what are some of the things that you noticed about the way they coached you?
Technically speaking, based on the ICF definition of coaching, it's really more of mentoring that they're doing, providing you the support and the guidance. Like if you have a question and you say like, hey, I'm not losing weight or my weight is stagnant for the past week, what should I do? Or is it okay for me to eat this and do that? So they're there to provide that guidance. But I see sort of the coaching part, the way that we know it is because the program is really, they respect how you want to do things and what works for you. There are principles, there are guidelines, but they would ask you first, like, okay, so if I ask, so what do I need to do? Do I need to adjust my calories for next week or my steps or whatever, right? Or what's the best workout for me? They'd ask you back, but what's your goal, Curly, for this season? Is your goal to like build more muscle, or is there a target weight that you're trying to achieve? So that's a part that I can see that aligns with coaching, the way we do it. Like really listening what is this person's concern, and also showing the empathy and aligning whatever it is that needs to be tweaked, or the support that they will give to what your goal is. The other aspect of it, it's not in the coaching per se from the coaches, the fitness coaches that we have in the program, but the way the program is designed is that we start with ourselves. So we know in coaching, it's important to do the inner work, right? Like, why am I really doing this? And that's when I realized that maybe the reason why none of the programs I've done in the past, no, well, they worked, but they worked for a while. And then after that, I'm back to my old habits. Is because there isn't that strong anchor within me. And it's also my mindset of thinking, this is a diet that I'm doing for 3 months. And then after this, when I get to my goal weight, I'm fine. I'll go back to my old ways, right? But this time, what we learned is that it's about habits, right? So we go back to like what we learned in coaching. We go back to the who or the person. So as Curly, who is it that I want to be? What are my beliefs about myself? Like I used to believe that I wouldn't excel at anything that requires physical strength or stamina, that I wouldn't be able to, stick to a regular fitness routine and all that. But seeing myself differently and reframing that helped me in a way. And that's what we do in coaching, right? To make the changes and the actions and the commitments more sustainable, it has to come from you and it has to come from that, what's underneath the iceberg.
You're bringing up a very interesting point, Curly, and it's probably something that some people are not familiar with. I mean, you talked about, the who, you talked about a vision for yourself that you wanted to have. And I guess it's one of the benefits of having coaching training and having, coaching as a profession, that you got something extra out of the program, considering that you could, define the who. And
Mhm.
I'm wondering, in the area of, and I know I asked you this question before we started the recording, normally in any transformation, external transformation that we need to happen, some sort of internal transformation has to precede that. And so I'm a little bit curious, Curly, could you tell us a little bit more about the internal transformation that happened in you that led to those external transformations?
For me, the internal transformation is really the way that I saw myself, right? There, I had many beliefs or perceptions about myself that this is just what I'm good at. I can excel at work, but I can't excel in maybe sports or fitness or health. And also feeling, I think one of the challenges also that I had to deal with was internally was we know that coming from the pandemic a few years back, we usually talk about self-care and self-compassion. I think I got an overdose of that. that it has become an excuse that, oh no, I'm tired, so I'm not gonna push myself to do that, or I'm just, I'm protecting myself with the boundaries and all that. But what I realized also, um in the reinforced through the program and also before that was maybe I'm being too, what's a writer? Maybe I'm babying myself, if that's even a word, too much, that I'm no longer pushing myself to go beyond that. So in the program, while going through it, I also read this book that I'm trying to recall what the title is, but it's something about like 100x something. Um, that made me realize I haven't pushed myself enough. And so that challenged me also. Okay, Curly, what is it that you want to do? What is it that you haven't done before because you're scared to do it that now you're able to do? So all those things, all those things everywhere, all those realizations, put them together. It helped me get through the program and also with that mindset that throughout the 100 days, what I kept telling myself is, Curly, you have to make this sustainable because otherwise I don't want to push myself today and end up hating what I'm doing, that I would never want to do it again. So I want to continue to not just trust the process, but also to enjoy and to love the process as well so that I can make it part of me.
Wow. I mean, that I think is a really inspirational thing that I just heard from you. It used to be that you saw that you could not possibly excel in something like health and fitness. But after having seen the results, after having tried it out for yourself and having tasted the victory of, like an amazing weight loss journey, I guess how you see yourself now has radically altered. And you see that, hey, this is something that I can do. And so, Curly, maybe just a last question. And first of all, I want to thank you for the time that you spent sharing your journey. because I'm sure other people might find inspiration in this, the same way that you found inspiration in reading about other people's successes.
Mm.
So I suppose the last question would be like, for people who still don't have that motivation to start, for people who feel stuck in whatever health condition they're in, and maybe already wallowing in self-pity that they're not able to do something, what might be one thing that that you would want to tell them to get them to start their health and fitness journey?
From based on my experience, it's really to face reality, understand what the reality is, because for me that's what kept me from really taking action, because I didn't know how heavy I was. I haven't had my annual physical exam in years, except for last year, because that was around August. I was, no, October. I was midway into the program, and I felt more confident to do the annual physical exam, because I knew that, okay, I know that my results will be good, and it was. I had good results there. So yeah, the reality might hurt, but it helps to know, because that's your data. This is where I am at right now. And then from there, that's when you know, create your plan, identify what your goal is, and get help. Like we say also as coaches, it's okay to ask for help. And I realize that myself too. I ask help when it comes to other things in life, but when it came to my health, I was like, nah, okay, I'm okay, I'm not getting sick, and all that. Right. So don't wait for it. Don't wait for it. Don't wait for things to get worse for you. Take action. But before that, of course, try to understand what the reality is right now for your life, and find something to anchor it to. Like for me, I forgot to mention earlier, one of those small moments that triggered me was talking to another coach also, who was very much into her fitness regimen as well. And I asked her, why do you keep doing this? And she said, it's because I want to be healthy so that I can do more of what I love doing. And that's what made me think. I realized, hey, I super love the work that I'm doing. I love being a parent. I love being a wife and all that. But if I'm not healthy, how can I do more of this? Right. So for me, that was something that I valued. So look for something that you value also, that you can anchor your health and fitness goals to.
Wow, awesome. And Curly, maybe just as a way for me to remember, because I love mnemonic devices. What I picked up from what you said are two C's, C and C. The first one is
Mm,
confront the reality of where you are. And the second C that I got is context. Like, why are you doing this? What's the reason behind? And in the story that I heard from you, it said that she can do more of what she loves to do. Awesome, awesome. That
love
was a
it.
great way to conclude it, Curly. And to anyone who will be watching this video, I guess if you have questions, you probably would want to get in touch with the Curly, or you can Google the Kaizen 100 program if you're interested. This is not an endorsement. This is not a paid endorsement at all. We're just doing this out of our commitment to contribute to having more Filipinos live healthy lives. Anything, Curly, from your end you might want to say to close the interview?
I'm good. Thank you so much, RV. Love what you said. I'll just add one more C.
Oh,
You
cool.
you said confront, and I love that. I love that word, confront, context. And maybe the last C is challenge. You
Wow.
might be feeling too comfortable already where you are, and it might be time for your next challenge.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Curly. See you soon.
Thanks, RV. See you around.